Hello. So yeah, I asked for things to ramble about in the video because I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to ramble about things, I guess. So I got some questions. First, Heavy Metal Harlot asked, "Are you looking forward to Star Trek?" Oh yeah, you know what? Off to a good start. Professional. Are you looking forward to Star Trek Discovery? Yes, I am. I've been a Star like I love Star Trek. I mean, I remember watching it when I was I remember when I first started watching Next Generation, and it was amazing. And I remember when Deep Space Nine started out, and um, I loved that. And I remember, like, my best friend in junior high, elementary school, junior high, like late elementary school, junior high. She was a really huge Star Trek fan too, and we would talk about it a lot. We read a bunch of the Star Wars Trek novels. I keep wanting to say Star Wars. That is not helpful. We read a bunch of the Star Trek novels. Pretty much everyone up into, I want to say, the lower 40s I've read for the Next Generation, and up and into high school and probably past that is what I read. So I love Star Trek. It's great. It's been a huge part of my life. And so I'm definitely curious about what Discovery is going to be about. And more Star Trek is always a good thing to me. I always want there to be more of things that I like. Yeah, yay more Star Trek. Yeah, I'm slightly disappointed that Brian Fuller left, or is no longer involved. But I know that he, I'm not going to complain because I'm pretty sure the reason he left is because he wanted to focus on American Gods, which A+, that's fantastic. I am absolutely in favor of it. But fucking Michelle Yeoh is amazing. She's fantastic, and I'm really, really curious about what the storyline is going to be, how it's going to fit into the timeline of the Federation, and all that. And yeah, I'm not thrilled about the whole the CBS Online thing, but stuff's gonna. It's where the industry is going, unfortunately, is to pay for things online, and that's just how we're gonna have to deal with it, I guess. And the future, I don't know, but I'll deal with that. Subscribe for a little while, watch some episodes, cancel it, subscribe later on again for another month, and watch some more episodes. I don't know. It's not like they're charging $25. I don't even know how much it would be. I am a little concerned over how there seemed to be a bunch of production stuff being pushed back, but you know what? Stuff happens. So I'm excited for it. To answer your question that I spent 4 minutes on, yes, I'm looking forward to it. 'Cause yay Star Trek, yay Star Trek. I had someone anonymous ask the good and bad points of the Dresden Files, or why people should use tags and or how to use them. Alright, well, tags, technically, we know what tags are supposed to be used for. You should use them to categorize things. You should make, or you can use them to have conversations with your friends. You know which way I lean. And it's definitely not the useful way. Using tags to organize things would be amazing if you can manage it. It is not my strong point. Organizational skills are not my strong point. There's a reason my alignment is not awful good. But I mean, like, mine, like, I'll try to organize a few things, and I will try to tag some things that I've had requests to blacklist them, so people can tag things for people who blacklist certain terms. I mean, that's not going out of my way to make somebody's day better. That's just courtesy. Like, if you can do that, somebody asks, go for it. I'm not always good at it, but I try. I was thinking, yeah, or you can just use them to have conversations about things you don't want to put in the body of a post. It's like whispering. The other part of the question was the good points and the bad points of the Dresden Files. The good points of the Dresden Files is it is a long, ongoing urban fantasy series. There's some really good characters. There's a lot of awesome action. It's fun. I love the setting. I love how things interact. The bad points are it can be. It's written from the point of view of a straight white dude, and that is very evident at times. It gets a little. I mean, like, in the first couple of books, especially, it leans a lot more heavily on the noir, on like the noir mystery stereotypes, like settings, which have some very inherent misogyny. Has some very misogynistic viewpoints inherent to it, which is unfortunate. Also, in the, like, I'm trying to remember if it's the latest book or not. I think it is. It's been a while since one of the books came out. That's also one of the downsides. But in the other points of view, one of the other problems that I've had in the last book was that you get a viewpoint from the, basically it's supposed to be the power of the Winter Court, like, and it's supposed to be that of a predator, but it's all in very sexualized terms, and it's a little uncomfortable and weird. Like, I was not really thrilled with that. Like, I mean, like, I get that the Winter Court is supposed to be like all excess, which includes lust, but it relies very heavily on that in the storytelling, and that's not. I feel like that's overdone. I was not super thrilled with that. Yeah, so I mean, I enjoyed the books. They're by no means perfect, but I mean, there's some fun escapism. I also had a question about. Hold on, I want to read this one out verbatim because it's a good question, and it's one that really speaks to me personally. How do you feel about sewing machines? Because they make me mad with how much I don't understand how they work. Needle down, needle up, same hole, makes a stitch. These machines shouldn't work. Alright. I live with a costumer, so there is about I want to say there's a 1-to-1 ratio of sewing machines / sergers to human beings living in my apartment. I may be I may be underestimating that. We might have two sewing machines and a serger. I can't remember anymore, and I'm not going to go check because that just seems unnecessary. But I do completely understand this question because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, it's so confusing. Except, I'm going to tell you a secret. Those sewing machines, fucking lying to you. Alright? Because it's not needle goes down, needle comes up, it's got thread, it makes a stitch. No. Because it's needle go okay. So here's how it works. You've got thread going to the needle, right? You've got your fabric. Needle goes down with the thread, right? Down here, there's like a spinning wheel thing with like a chunk piece taken out of it that's got other thread on it. So needle goes down with this thread, and then then the circle comes around with the other thread and loops the thread down here through the thread up here. You've got two different things of thread going to make the stitch. It makes it look like you've just got one if you don't know what's going on, but it's two different thread. Two different pieces of thread that are working together to make the stitch. Also important to know is influencing how I feel about sewing machines. Thinking like on a positive note towards sewing machines. Yay, sewing machines! Because when you're a kid, that the foot, is that what it's called? The foot? I don't know. The little pedal thing. The little pedal thing you use to control the sewing machine. It's awesome to pretend like you can sit in a chair and pretend you're using that to drive a car. So, lying, a sewing machine on the negative side, lying. On the positive side, you can pretend you're driving a car when you're a kid. What I'm saying is that my relationship with sewing machines is complicated, I guess. No. Anyway, so those are the questions I got. And I spent like 12 minutes on them. Good use of my time. I hope it was a good use of yours.